As this year's awards season finally comes into focus, one of the trends seems to be shock value. From Mother, which didn't work out so well as an awards movie, to The Shape of Water, which worked out very well as an awards movie, to now Phantom Thread, which is a real wild card, not just because it's one of the latest entries in the field, but also because it has the biggest shock of them all. Not only because of the sheer audacity of its twist, but it's also shocking that this would come from Paul Thomas Anderson and Daniel Day-Lewis, because the twist has absolutely no creative credibility whatsoever. It's like they just took a giant plots in the middle of awards season. And it's, again, quite shocking. Yes, say what you will about Mother, and we certainly have, but at least Darren Aronofsky had something to say. Now, many of you simply won't believe me about Phantom Thread, largely because of the talent that's involved. Although, if you think about The Master and Inherent Vice, and what Paul Thomas Anderson's work has been like under Megan Ellison's stewardship, and we'll talk about Megan Ellison, maybe you wouldn't be so surprised. But to back up my comments, this review is going to have spoilers, and we're going to go into them in just a moment. But I think that since don't worry, I'm going to give you plenty of heads up to skip ahead. But I'm justifying this not only to back up my comments, but also because the twist is so crudely tacked onto the film that I don't think knowing it in advance would ruin the movie for you. In fact, it might save you a couple of bucks, at least maybe downgrading to a matinee. And certainly I don't know if this should be anyone's holiday movie. But if you don't want to know, you can click on the next chapter time. It's very clearly linked down below in the video description, and I'll give you a moment to do that right now. Okay, are you still here? All right, get this. This is ridiculous. So rather than be dumped by Daniel Day-Lewis's cruelly domineering Reynolds Woodcock, who's really just looking for a doll to dress up and have sex with, Alma poisons his food, and then he gets super sick, almost dies, and nurses him back to health using the sickness to make him even more reliant on her. Well, actually reliant at all. And the plan is a huge success, because when he gets better, he actually proposes to her, and she actually accepts. It's like, whoa, you don't feel at all guilty? But then when they're married, it becomes clear that they are not a great match. Also, she stops trying to be a good match, and they're just opposites. And this is not one of those situations where opposites attract. Plus, she seems to want to take on a larger position of ownership in his fashion house, despite having absolutely no experience or, it seems, any talent either. Mind you, this all happens in the last third of the movie, so you can see how long you have to wait to get to the real meat of the piece. But then we haven't gotten to the craziest part yet, but then it turns out they are alike in one very special, unique way. Because it's revealed at the very end of the movie that he knows she's poisoning him, because she does it again, but he likes feeling helpless and I guess getting a break from work. There's also some idea that maybe he hallucinates seeing his mother, so maybe he likes it for that reason. But he likes it. He's into being poisoned just as much as she likes taking care of a helpless grown adult man. So there's one shot of them sitting in the bathroom with him. I'm not sure if he's on the toilet or not, but he's holding a barf pail on his lap, and the whole bottom of the bathroom is lined with newspaper, and they're just so lovey-dovey together, getting ready for the absolute worst, and they're both so excited. Like, what the f***? Not only does it make no sense whatsoever for his character, but it makes her character terribly unlikable. But even more so, this is what really bothered me about it. Why put the idea out there that putting something in someone's food not only could help them, but that they might even appreciate it? Faith in food preparation is a cornerstone of society. Don't mess with it, particularly for no good reason. All right, so that's the end of the spoilers. I told you, it's messed up. And again, I really feel like it was just put in there for shock value, for the sake of surprising the audience and almost daring them not oh, did you not get it? I don't think there's anything to get, but it's just so out there and so crazy. And with this talent, I think a lot of people are like, I'm going to just go along with it because I don't want to look bad. It's just ridiculous. I'm sure some of you will take offense at that, but I'd be excited with spoiler warnings for you to defend this movie down below. All right, so again, end spoilers. Let's talk about the craftsmanship of the film. I've said before that producer Megan Ellison has ruined Paul Thomas Anderson's career by refusing to edit him, and I, again, feel that's the case. The film meanders with no strong purpose or meaning, and being beautiful to look at is only entertaining for so long. About an hour and a half into the movie, I was ready for it to end, but then I realized that I had not seen many of the shots from the trailer, And I got sad because I was like, how long are you going to hold me captive here? I mean, the movie's a little over 2 hours, but it feels like 3. Daniel Day-Lewis, of course, is one of the finest actors ever to grace the silver screen. So it's a shame that supposedly his final role doesn't challenge him whatsoever. It's also a role where he's not only distant from the other characters in the film, but from the audience as well. So we're kind of cheated out of getting that last amazing performance. He looks nice, though. Vicky Krieps, she's creepy. Vicky Krieps is okay as Alma, but when her role takes a dramatic shift, again, we're out of the spoiler section, but when it takes that dramatic shift, as an actress, she doesn't have the nuance or inclination, it doesn't occur to her, she doesn't have the instincts to make it oddly mesmerizing. Again, she just becomes intensely unlikable. It's the other women in Reynolds Woodcock's life. It's such a crazy name. I wish they had talked about why they chose it. I think it was just chosen to be odd in some ways. But those women have more depth and have some particularly striking performances. That's right, striking. I was very impressed, actually, with Leslie Manville as his sister. I thought she was like just a machine working for her brother. I thought it was great. And then also Harriet Sampson Harris is one of his clients. It's actually the best use of Harriet Sampson Harris I've ever seen. And to know she's capable of such acting, well, it's a shame that the ubiquitous TV actress, who's also done quite a bit of theater, Tony winning, but she hasn't had a chance to show off her skills on a larger platform like film until now. It's also odd that a movie about a character who is so meticulous in the precision of his craft and how important it is to him to respect it, that the movie about that individual would exhibit none of those qualities itself beyond the production design. That's the only thing that I thought was truly hit the mark. Even the costume design is surprisingly uninspired, which is also odd for a movie about a fashion designer. So I'm glad that Megan Ellison is such a patron of the cinematic arts, but I hope she realizes sometime soon that being a sycophant to her favorite directors more than cancels out the blank checks, both financially and creatively, that she's writing them. And Daniel Day-Lewis, you can't go out like this. You can't. Go, please, one more. I mean, it's just tragic. So that's my review of Phantom Thread. I'll be very curious to hear what you think about it down below. And if you do want to discuss spoilers, just please be sure to label them appropriately. All right. And you can, as always, check out some more videos right now.